business owners and executives from around the Valley. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Good morning and thank you for watching Business Leaders. My name is Lance Cardoza and we'd like to thank our sponsor, Flooring Liquidators, for making this episode possible and all the episodes at businessleaders.tv. You can go to businessleaders.tv or scan the QR code right here on the screen. You pick up your mobile phone and just scan that code and we'll show that code later in the program and you can catch this episode and more. Today's show of Business Leaders, I have Taylan Parker, and Taylan Parker is with the Jan and Bud Richter Center.
Yes.
And I'm going to let you give your title because it's a long one.
Yes, so I'm with the Jan and Bud Richter Center for Community Engagement and Service Learning at Fresno State.
Perfect. That's a mouthful. How's your business card? It's just like runs right off the card.
Yes.
Perfect. And we know each other because I worked with your mother for years and we did some TV together. Yes. And it was cool to see you as one of our honorees. And we've had a couple honorees on the program here on Tuesday mornings for the 40 under 40.
Yes.
And you look like you're still in your 20s.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, and I remember when you were growing up and I knew that you were going to follow in the footsteps of your mom's work and what she did here for seniors and everything else. And here you are working in volunteer work.
Yes, I know. We have a long line of educators and volunteer work in the community, so it's an honor to be here. It
was so cool to see you at the 40 under 40 and hearing people talk about you too and what you're doing, and it was a cool experience. So Taylan, I'm just proud to see you excelling and doing great. You've been with the Jan and Bud Richter Center for how long?
So I've been there 7 years now.
7 years now. Cool.
Yes.
Tell me about what the organization is and what they do out at Fresno State.
Yeah, so the short of it is we are the hub for all things volunteer at Fresno State. And so we started off as a one-man show with Chris Fiorentino as a grad assistant, and he saw the need for a whole center for volunteers. And so he started growing this program over the years, and we then became a center. And then in 2007, Jan and Bud endowed our office, and so they made a generous contribution to help further the work that we were already doing. And so then we became the Jan and Bud Richter Center for Community Engagement and Service Learning.
Beautiful. And what is their story, Jan and Bud? Why did they feel to support this group and volunteerism?
So Bud passed away about 2 years ago. Jan is still with us, but they were committed to leading a life of service. And so that was from early on in their careers. They were servant leaders in our community and they wanted to give of their time, talent, and treasure and really make it last. And so they felt that by endowing our office and allowing students to have a place to come and then volunteer and invest back in our community, it would be a worthwhile foundation to support. And so they supported our office in generously donating so that we can continue this work and get students in our community. So it's benefiting the students, the community, and our campus.
Do you see the student involvement when they work through the center that a lot of times they end up planting roots in the community they're serving?
Yeah, so it's really great because we have such a diverse group of students at Fresno State. So we have some that have grown up in the Valley from the time they were little all the way through. So they're really familiar with service opportunities like Kids Day and seeing people selling papers on the corner or blood drives or things like that. And so they're eager to get involved right off the bat. But then we also have a lot of commuter students. We have a lot of students from Mendota and Merced, Visalia, who aren't directly in Fresno. And so when they come to campus, they're excited to get involved and we get to get them into different nonprofits in our community, and then they usually find a love for it and stick around.
Do you have, so you do an outreach to other nonprofits to get students engaged?
Yeah, so we rely heavily on our community benefit organizations. We work with over 200 in the Valley, ranging from Valley Animal Center, Valley Children's Hospital, the food pantry, and so we have a wide variety of service opportunities for our students. So when they come to our office and they say, this is my specific major or this is an interest that I have, I want to get involved, where can I get involved? We have a laundry list of opportunities for them to really find this specific volunteer project that will best suit them and their educational and service experience.
You mentioned the food pantry there at Fresno State, and my daughter Chloe and Zoe going to college and stuff, that I knew the food pantry when it came in. it was like they got to go check the food
Yes.
pantry out. Dad, you got to come check out the food pantry.
Yeah.
And when I first walked in there, I'm like, oh, I wish I was a student.
Yeah, it's a
'Cause
really
it's
great
great,
opportunity
yeah.
for our students who need that resource and need something quick and easy and on campus and available to them. The student cupboard also helps students apply for CalFresh, which is really helpful. A lot of times that application can be daunting,
Yeah.
and so they jump right in and help out. Another one that we're fortunate to partner with is Bulldog Pantry, which is just across Shaw.
Yeah.
But they do a ton of work for that local Sierra Madre neighborhood, but also for Fresno State students. And so it's really great to have resources close to campus that
Yeah.
our students and community can utilize.
How do you, when the nonprofit or 501c3 out there
Yes.
is looking to connect with the Jan and Bud Richter Center, how do they do that? What's the process
Yeah,
for that?
so the easiest thing is just to go on our website and give us a call. And when they give us a call, we have a community partnerships coordinator named Tricia Stute, and that is her role. She is matchmaker, we call her. So she works with the nonprofits and figures out what are their needs and how we can better support them. And then she allows those students to then come in and kind of acts as that matchmaker to find them a good partner to then fill those roles. And so she manages all of our partnerships, works with the nonprofits, explains what we do, what we don't do. One of the things I think a lot of nonprofits think is we just have a list of volunteers that we can call on at any time, and that's not necessarily the case. We're really strategic in how we place students, and so we have general social media.
True matchmaking.
Yes,
Yeah, so
we
you
have,
find out where they can fulfill that role.
Exactly. So we have like general outreach opportunities with newsletters and social media, but really we hone in on different majors and clubs or organizations that have specific focuses and then match them up with organizations so that it's a good fit for the agency and the student.
Perfect. And if you're watching from home and I want to connect with the Jan Bud Richter Center and I want to talk with Taylan and the
Yes.
lady you were mentioning that's
Yes.
your matchmaker, you can go to businessleaders.tv to get that website, or we can give that website right now
Yes.
too, to where someone can go there and check it out now.
The easiest way is just to Google Fresno State Richter Center, and it will be the first thing that pops up, and our contact information is right on there.
Perfect. So if you're a nonprofit out there or you want to find more information out or how you can support and be a part of it, you can go to the website there or businessleaders.tv. There's more to come. We're going to talk about Taylan growing up here in the Valley and more when we come back with Business Leaders. Go to businessleaders.tv and catch the episode every week, Tuesday mornings at 11. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Business Leaders here in the studios at KMPH Fox 26. My name is Lance Cardoza, and I want to remind everybody, if you get a podcast, you can go to Business Leaders with Lance and get your podcast wherever you download your podcast weekly episodes. And you can catch Taylan Parker and Taylan Parker with the Jan and Bud Richter Center.
Yes.
We're talking about students volunteering their services.
Yes.
And connecting to nonprofits,
Yes.
and really educating them to their
Yeah.
community.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's great stuff. What led you to that work?
Yeah, so I am a fourth generation Fresno State Bulldog.
Go Dogs.
Yes, go
Yeah.
Dogs. My great grandma received her master's degree from Fresno State. My grandma received her degree there, my mom, and then now me. And so Fresno State in the Central Valley has been part of my upbringing.
Yeah.
I grew up here in the Valley. I love the Valley and decided to stick around for college. And that's really where I found my passion for college students. I was part of Greek Life, and I had the opportunity to lead 80 women throughout their college experience, and I just found a love for it. And so from there, I decided to pursue a master's in higher education, administration, and leadership, also at Fresno State, which then led me to my career at the university.
And let it there, so it was full circle. So
Yes.
when you were growing up and watching grandma
Yes.
and watching your mom, Did you think that you were going to stay in the Valley and you were going to work in the service?
No.
Work? No, yeah.
I think I had dreams and aspirations to leave the Valley and kind of like, oh, I need to get out and see the world, like most 18-year-olds. But
the
then
number one export,
yes,
I think, of our Valley is our youth, our educated youth. Yes.
But when it came down to it, I loved Fresno State. I loved Fresno. And I was excited to be a Bulldog. And I think that my roots here in the Valley really led me to want to stay and be excited to stay. And so I thought that I was going to pursue a law degree. And my junior, senior year, I just realized that I loved college students, and someone filled me in that that's actually a job that you can do. And so I got really excited and passionate about that.
That was awesome. It was just meant to be.
Yes.
And meant to be. And like you said, your family has had a service genetics in their upbringing, their college years, and everything they've done. So you're just following in the footsteps of every one of them.
Yeah.
What drove you? You saw that as family members, but as like you said, when you thought about leaving the area, what did you want to do before you decided to serve the community?
Yeah,
and do
I think I was really eager to travel and get out. And then when I realized that everything I was looking for, Fresno had to offer, and I could still travel and see things without actually having to leave permanently. I was really excited. And so Fresno State allowed me to do a study abroad program, do different traveling trips, especially through my master's program and through work. And so I've had really great opportunities to kind of branch out and see the world without actually having to leave the Valley.
And then realize how good we have it.
Yes.
And that's why I tell people all the time that the worst promoters of Fresno are the people that have been here in Fresno forever until you say something bad about Fresno.
Yes, exactly.
And then they're the first to fight for Fresno.
Yes.
But there's so much here to offer.
There really
we have
is.
a beautiful place to raise a family and do all the things that someone wants to do within reason. And some areas where we all decide we want to run to, they usually end up being a boomerang and they come back to where it was comfortable. And we just have a great, you can be anywhere in 15, 20 minutes. There's no major city like of our size that you could do that. It's become a little harder and harder, but that's something we really have. And I tell companies all the time that are looking at Fresno or Fresno County, and I know the Fresno EDC talks about it, 15, 20 minutes, you can be anywhere, and everybody's shocked by that. How does that happen? We don't, so we have some great things in our Valley.
We do.
And so talk to me about the passion behind what you do every day. Like you said, you like working with college students.
Yes.
And I would think that probably keeps you young forever.
Yes.
And you don't have that problem, but did you feel that?
Definitely. I started my journey at Fresno State in 2010 and just haven't left. I've stuck around, and so I've kind of made it my home. And I think that college students are right at that pivotal point in trying to figure out what they want to do. And a lot of times we just throw them into the university and say, pick a major and go for it. And it's really a time to learn about yourself, to figure out what you really want to do. Most college students change their major multiple times. And so service is a really safe way to try out what you want to do forever. And so we encourage students, if you want to be a teacher, come get involved and serve in classrooms, do a literacy program with Every Neighborhood Partnership. If you are really passionate about law, come serve at some of our different opportunities for social work organizations that really need students. And so there's a lot of learning that can happen through service, and that's really what we get excited about, is the learning that happens through service and through engaging in our community and trying it out.
And remind everybody too, so if you're watching right now, Taylan Parker, and talking about the service and students servicing, how about the community? How does the community that are watching right here on Business Leaders get involved with the organization, the Jan and Bud Richter Center?
Yeah, definitely. So we love getting different community members involved, getting alumni involved. And so the best way is to go onto our website. That's where we post all of our upcoming events that we have. If you're a business in the Valley and you're looking for students to come either volunteer with you or you're needing an intern, our office is a great hub. We can get you to the right department or the right group on campus. But just providing students with a way to serve and try out what they're learning in the classroom is really the best way for them to learn.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And give that website one more time that we
Yes.
can put it here across the screen.
Yeah, so the easiest way to find us, because it's long, is to just do a Google search of Fresno State Richter Center. And we'll be the Jan Bud Richter Center that pops up, and click that link, and then we have a contact us page.
Perfect. And you can also go to businessleaders.tv, and we'll have the information there as well. We got more to come. I want to talk to Taylan about some exciting stuff for the future, and then also talk about maybe something that someone doesn't know about Taylan, and she'll share that. Maybe it's a hobby. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Business Leaders here at KMPH Fox 26. My name is Lance Cardoza, and I want to remind everybody, get us on podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, go to Business Leaders with Lance. And you can scan the QR code on the screen right now to get this episode and other episodes of Business Leaders by going to businessleaders.tv or pulling out your smartphone and scanning the QR code. And make sure you download our podcast. Been sitting here talking with Taylan Parker with the Jan and Bud Richter Center, talking about volunteers and Fresno State, the students, getting them involved and engaged in their community. And talk to me about some of the big events, because you have a lot of events going on.
We do.
Before the episode's over, we'll talk about something about yourself that maybe somebody doesn't know that even knows Taylan.
Perfect. Sounds good. So we have a blood drive coming up. It's going to start next week on Tuesday, and it will run through Thursday. It's a really great way to get students involved and kind of make that commitment to being a lifelong donor. The Central California Blood Center is one of our largest and long-standing partners at Fresno State, so we host 4 on-campus blood drives a year. Perfect. Campus can be tricky to get to, so if you're looking to donate, if you're an alumni and you want to donate under Fresno State's name, you can go to any of their donor centers and say you're donating on behalf of Fresno State, and we'll get the credit for it. But it's really important that we teach college students about the importance of blood. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about donating blood. Currently, blood cannot be manufactured. It cannot be bought. And so it goes straight from donor to recipient. And the Central California Blood Center currently serves all 5 counties in our valley. And so they are the premier source of blood. They're out at Valley Children's Hospital, they're out at community hospitals, so whether it's a trauma incident that occurs or a child undergoing cancer treatments needing blood transfusions, they're the prime source.
And I know, wasn't there a softball player that Ginny Eller, I believe?
Correct, from the Eller Center,
the Eller Center, that had the need of blood. And so it really hits home when you're talking about these are the athletes and the students.
Correct. We have a lot of students who are recipients of blood, and they would not be sitting in the classroom today if it weren't for donors like the ones that we have here in the Valley donating. The other unique thing is the blood has to be processed, and so it's the donors who consistently donate and the blood that's consistently on the shelves that is getting utilized, and so it's really important to create that habit.
That's a great thing. You can Google the Jan and Bud Richter Center or call the Blood Center itself and let them know about what's happening in Fresno State. It happens 4 times a year. So if you missed one, there's going to be another one.
Yes, every 8 weeks.
You'll be able to, every 8 weeks, and you can continue to donate out there. Any other events that are coming up? Because there's a lot of nonprofits you work with.
Yes, a lot of nonprofits. We're getting really excited for our Alternative Spring Break project. So these are students who, instead of going on vacation or hanging out with their family or sleeping and resting, are willing to give up their spring break in service to others. And so we have 2 big projects going on. We'll be at Scout Island, Fresno, doing invasive species removal, native species planting, a lot of sustainability work. And then we'll also be at Stone Soup, Fresno, which is just around the corner from Fresno State, working with K through 6 students. And our students are going to be leading a STEAM camp, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math for them.
Wow.
Yes. So it'll be a 4-day project, and on the last day they get to come to campus and do a tour.
Beautiful stuff. You probably have so many events and things going on. It's hard to keep it all together.
The other thing that's coming up is Kids Day. Valley Children's is bringing Kids Day back in person, so we will be out on the street corners selling some postcards. So March 7th, mark your calendar if you're driving to work or headed to get your Starbucks. Have some cash in there for our volunteers raising money for Valley Children's.
And I love Kids Day because you see so many people in the community. I know the Fresno Grizzlies,
Yes.
I'll catch Parker on the corner selling the newspaper
Yes.
with B, and also everybody that's in supporting the Valley Children's Hospital.
Yes.
So it's awesome work that you guys do.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see the excitement of the students get
Yes.
involved too. And you have a lot of students that engage in the program.
So we have thousands of students who volunteer each year, whether it be through our office or their department or service learning class that they take. And over the last 10 years, we've completed over 1 million hours of service each year, which is an economic impact of over $43 million. So that time and investment is going straight back into the Central Valley.
Well, the Jan and Bud Richter Center is very lucky to have you, Taylan. I know you've been there for 7 years
Yes.
now. Yeah, and it's hard to believe that you've been there 7 years because I knew you when you were a kid.
Yes,
you
little.
know, and here you are doing this great work for our community. And like we said too, it's sort of planting the seeds and cultivating leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
And people really to look at their community and find, how do I get connected to my community?
Yes.
And that good work, you get to see it time and time again. I'm sure you have
Yes.
students that come back.
Yes, we do. We
work
love
it.
our student alumni who come back and volunteer at our service events with us or make a financial contribution to our office so that other students can engage in this work and have a
Yeah.
really great learning experience.
I wanted to hit real quick on something
Yes.
that somebody doesn't know about you, Taylan Parker.
Yes, so my husband and I are both born and raised in Fresno. We have 2 little boys and a little girl on the way.
Oh, wow.
But probably something a lot of people don't know is we actually own property up in Oakhurst, California. And so we enjoy going up there, getting away from the city, letting the boys run around and hang out, get dirty, and just enjoy nature.
Just be kids. So
Yes.
remind you when you were a kid.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Go back and give that to them. And that's what's great. Living in Fresno, you have so much right
Yes,
here. We
right
have
by
it
Yosemite.
everywhere.
Exactly.
We have it everywhere. Taylan, it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much,
It was a pleasure
Lance.
having you on there. I feel so old now having you on here because I see a little bit of your mom there in your face. And it's so awesome to hear all the great things that you're doing and everything that Jan and Bud Richter Center is
Yes,
doing. So,
thank you.
40 Under 40, you were in our 40 Under 40. If you
Yes.
have somebody, make sure you nominate them by going 40, the letter U, 40.com. And you can nominate with a 250-word description for the class of 2023's 40 Under 40. It's all the time we have. Taylan Parker with the Jan and Bud Richter Center. We will see you next week, Tuesday morning at 11 a.m.